Hello everyone, this is Ugly Ray. Thank you for listening to the Whole Truth Podcast. Today your host, Truth the Barber Artist, will be discussing Dwight Howard and his off-the-court distractions. He's going to be talking about young barbers and what happens when they go to new barbershops. He's going to be discussing weed legalization in New York and the aftermath if it does happen. And he's also going to be talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine and his legal troubles. Stick around, don't go nowhere. Be sure you click that subscribe button, like and comment. Much appreciated.
Hello everyone, this is Truth the Barber Artist, and welcome to the first edition of the Whole Truth Podcast. And I'm here today with my co-hosts, fellow sketch comedians, Peter Plon.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? How's everything?
And Snuggles.
Hi everybody, how you doing?
Alright, how you guys hyped? This is the first podcast that we're doing.
Yeah,
let's
man.
do this,
This
man.
is,
This is
hopefully
like a long time coming.
Yeah, hopefully this is something, that we enjoy doing and, we can bring our audience something fun to pass some time, give them a little bit of info.
Yeah, give them a little bit of an opinion of what we think about some of the issues that are going on in the world, right?
Right, absolutely. We got a lot of stuff going on these days.
Yeah, so how was the week for you guys? Did you do anything interesting? Any funny situations, funny events, anything personal?
Honestly, bro, I was working all week and, it's a tough life for you. Working all the time, So,
Yeah, we all been there.
I had a long week, so I'm looking forward to this. This is a little bit of unwinding for me.
Same here. Just work all week.
How about you, man? You
just
don't have any
excited.
funny stories of the barber world?
Well, there was one situation where somebody asked me for a haircut, and they didn't have the money to pay, so they kind of wanted the haircut on credit. And I never met this person
They
before.
told you after they told you that?
No,
they
before.
They told you already.
They
You
asked me for
already
a
knew that
haircut.
person didn't have money or anything.
No,
like
they
that.
asked me for a haircut, and they said, "Oh well, listen, I don't have any money. Can you give me the haircut, and I'll pay you next week?" But I never met the person before, so it's different if it would have been somebody that I knew or that I seen before, but I never met him before, and I had to decline, even though it could have been a potential new client. But it's a sad thing when I have to turn somebody away. But they didn't have any money, so.
Nah, I hear you, man. It's tough.
I
You can't ask
Then
somebody
again, you
for
don't know him
service.
either. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing.
Yeah, so
You know what I'm saying? It's not like he was a regular customer or anything like that.
right.
You know?
And if it was somebody who was probably in need, like maybe somebody homeless, or somebody that looked down on their luck, but this guy had some fresh, he had a fresh pair of kicks on, had some nice clothes,
That's
so,
where the money went, on the first pair of kicks.
yeah, so
Pretty much, right? That's what it says. Y'all got the first pair of kicks on it, but I need the haircut on credit. That's what he said.
yeah, I mean, he was looking pretty sharp, so I said, this guy probably just left his cash at home. They're bringing his credit card with him, and I had to.
Don't feel bad, man.
Yeah.
Yo, listen, people, if you're gonna go ask somebody for a service, make sure that you're at least one of their customers. You have a relationship with them. You can't just go and ask people for free
Yeah.
stuff without,
If he was a regular customer, it'd be different. Like if you
Yeah.
see him all the time, it's it's a different story.
Yeah,
But
that's being shameless.
I know.
Have some shame, people. Shame.
Yeah, if you don't know him, then shit.
All right, well, let's jump into our first topic, guys.
All right, what we got?
Let's get this show on the road. Y'all
All
ready?
right,
Y'all ready?
let's do it.
Yes. All right, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is my boy Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Have you guys heard about what's going on with him?
Yeah, he got two macho mengs.
No, not me. I've been lost. I've been.
He got two macho mengs, dude. You know that, right?
Yeah, he got two of them.
He got one macho man that's jealous about him going out with another macho man.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, that's what's going on right now, man.
Wow.
He got macho man problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, all right. So I got this article here that I want to read to you guys, and then I want you to share your opinion about what you think.
Let's hear it.
It says the NBA season just got a little more interesting. A gay man named Mason Elijah, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, put an NBA star Dwight Howard on blast for allegedly being in a relationship and allegedly attending transgender sex parties. According to Mason, they talked and met up. He was really into Dwight, and the two allegedly began a romantic relationship. Things reportedly went sour after Howard allegedly started hooking up with someone else and wanted Mason to sign an NDA. After he refused, Dwight's camp allegedly started threatening him, and he then decided to put everyone on blast.
Wow.
Snuggles, you want to start with this one?
Well, what did the guy have? Like, he's got evidence, like he's got proof to make an allegation like that against this guy? Like,
I mean, well, let me read to you the next article that I have here. He took the situation to Twitter to provide alleged receipts of all his accusations to let everyone know he isn't lying. He had screen recordings of himself talking to someone named Dwight and another person named Calvin. Mason Elijah has since spoken to The Hill Reporter, and he's alleging that Calvin is Pastor Calvin Simmons. Simmons previously made headlines for mentoring Howard.
Sounds like Howard has like a love triangle going on. You know what I'm saying? That's what it sounds like, a whole love triangle thing going on.
This doesn't sound good for Dwight. I'll tell you why. Because, you know, anything that happens in your personal life when you're on his level is very important for you to keep it private from the public. You know, anything that you put out there, especially something like this, it can ruin your reputation and possibly put a stain in your career.
yeah, but I mean,
But
now.
What was that? You can't whisper stuff, man. You gotta say things out loud.
That or a shit stain. Either one.
Oh. See, now the opinion lies in.
We just started this topic. We just started talking about it.
Now I think the opinion lies in, like, if he knows they got facts and that's what he was doing and it's the truth, you know, and he knows it. I mean, basically, your PR team hasn't, you know, if they can't spin this or get it out of, you know, get you out of that situation, it's something that he already did, you know. Like most people, I think if he just cops to it and admits to it, like, all right, he did it or whatever, and he's like, listen, that's what it is. If you nip it in the bud, what do you give people to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why people really look at him. I mean, with all the LGBT community, how it's open now and everybody's out or whatever, I mean, like, I just think if that's his lifestyle, then maybe he should just own up to it. Like, why are you running around for it? Obviously, he's trying to cover it up, if that's the case, and then he's going to wind up doing it again. Like, you're going to be back in the news. If that's your thing, just come out. I think at the end of the day, like, you know, sports people, everybody's entitled to whatever it is they want to live, man, however they want to live, if it makes them happy. Right. Everybody else, they're always going to talk about something because people always want to have a topic to talk about. Opinion is just an opinion. Now, if it could negatively impact his career, I mean, if you're talking because of him coming out, then that's blatant discrimination, and he's got something to stand on there. So I don't feel like at any point, you know, you're losing anything other than maybe just your self-respect, you know? Because at the end of the day, he's the only person that's going to look at himself in the mirror and say, yo, listen, this is what we're about. This is what I'm about. Right. That's all I say. So to me, I'm like, yo, listen, if it is what it is and you did it, just come out and let it know. I mean, what's the point of you trying to hide it and then something else pops up? It's just, you're just running around in circles.
Well, Pete, what do you think? You think if this is true, that Dwight Howard should just come out in the open and just admit it? He just should just come out of the closet, in other words?
I mean, like you said, if they have the proof, yeah, you should just come out. Just if it's, I mean, you can't get around it.
Right.
You might as well just come straight up and say what it is. I think so.
But you know, this, like I said, in these situations, a lot of these sports figures or celebrities, they choose to keep their personal life personal. So even if it is true,
isn't that hard for
he may decide not to.
To me, that's difficult.
Come out.
You know.
So, what's your opinion on the matter? How should he go about it? You being that you're somewhat of a personality, you know, a celebrity, you know, in the social media realm. So how would you what do you think is probably the proper way for him to address the situation?
Well, listen, like I said, anybody who is high profile or is known in some way should be somewhat careful, a little bit more careful.
So should he stop his lifestyle?
But if this type of situation were to come out, like it has for him, and if it's true, then he should just come clean, in my opinion. You know, I really don't think that he should just keep trying to lie, because, you know, once you say one lie, you got to say another one to keep covering up.
It snowballs. It's going to get bigger and bigger. Now you got to keep track of all your lies.
But, I got, as a treat for you guys, I got a picture of this so-called accuser. We're going to put this up on the screen for everybody.
Okay.
And
this is Macho Man 1 or Macho Man 2?
No, this is, I would say this is Macho Man 1.
Right. So
this is the.
What number is it? Number 1?
Yeah. This is the only picture I could get with the little hearts on the head. Sorry about that, guys. So, but this is the accuser.
Is this the picture that he sent?
Drew, he sent it to you. He sent it to Drew. He sent it to Drew.
Yo, so that's not even Howard's
Yo, he sent it to Drew.
Yo,
this wasn't sent to me.
Yo,
I found it online.
You gonna have to check your love interest. Yo,
he sent it to Drew.
They stepping out on you, man. They trying to come over here.
Man, Drew.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to say.
Trying to say he's Dwight Howard.
Hey.
Look.
He's the accuser. Now you relax.
I don't know. You're the one that's coming out with pictures and shit with little hearts on their head.
But you know, it like I said, this is something that it should be addressed by him. You know, he should just come clean and admit it.
Listen, at the end of the day, I think if he has fans, you know, his skills on the court should have nothing to do with his personal life. You know, like that's something else. Like at the end of the day, after you see somebody playing, on, you know, any sport on the screen, you watch your favorite game, your favorite team, or whatever. You know, the person, they go out there, they do whatever they got to do. You know, after that, I don't care what goes on with them after that. They could go party, they could go family time, you know, whatever it is their thing. I really don't care what they do afterwards. You know, you're a fan for the sport, not for the individual life. I mean, at least me, I don't go beyond, you know, the sport realm. I don't follow people after that.
But in another twist, right? You guys ready for this?
All right.
Are you ready for this?
This guy's got like. He's got
and
shockers on every corner.
He says, hold on. He said, but wait.
He's like, wait, we got more.
and Pete.
Damn, this gets worse.
As courtesy, I want you to go first after I read this article. In a twist, now this happened after, supposedly, after these accusations came out.
Accusations?
Yeah, same thing. So the Washington Wizards big man has had reoccurring trouble with his gluteal injury this season, and surgery was recommended by nerve specialists. Howard missed 12 to 21 games for the Wizards this season, averaging 12.8 points and 9.2 points. In the 9 games he has played in, as he recovers from an aggravated piriformis muscle injury after signing a 2-year, $11 million deal over the summer. The 32-year-old center has dealt with some off-the-court drama this season as well, has battled with health problems throughout his career after being the top pick in the 2004 NBA draft.
Yeah, Pete. I was going to say something. This was on Pete.
Yo, but...
So he has a muscle.
So on top of all the bullshit, they're describing it this way.
So
this is the way we're getting this description of this.
His glute got...
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You hear how you describing all of it? Does this sound like it all goes together?
So are we? Is this an insinuation that his glutes were harmed due to the fact that this guy?
Well, listen.
His love interest. Manhandled.
Eso arde.
Oh man, listen.
They be like, yo, no agua. Eso arde.
I don't know how I haven't seen how the injury happened. I don't care to see it.
Wow,
I don't care to see it.
You can really go that far into it, huh? He's like, I want to see how the injury happened. You hear me? He's like, I gotta get pictures of the injuries.
I don't know, man. It sounds like
you're gonna put that up, man.
It sounds like they're gonna have to get a CSI team because apparently.
Yeah, truth.
Listen, from what I hear,
Truth is the CSI team.
From what I hear, oh well, he's gonna have a big task on his hand because they killed his ass. So now you gotta send a CSI team in there to go investigate.
Go ahead, the truth, man. You gotta go check the truth. Your description of that shit.
Was a murder scene. Oh
yeah. His description of it was just horrible, man. Like all of it just.
I mean, you never know. You never know what's going on behind closed doors with these people.
Wow. That's TMI. Yeah. That's TMI.
All right. So do you guys think once he comes back from his surgery, his career can recover from this whole situation?
I personally. Go ahead.
I mean, if it doesn't affect the way he's playing on the court or anything like that, dude, it shouldn't affect anything.
I personally think that
it shouldn't affect anything because he's still playing the same, right? He's still giving good,
I think I personally think that the only thing that's gonna have a weighing factor on that is how he comes back and plays.
Yeah.
I mean.
So you think his glute will ever be the same?
I don't know.
That's
I got to the
between
CSI.
him.
I got to the CSI guy.
That's between him, his glue, and the glue killer.
And
that's
the CSI guy, right?
And the CSI guy that, with whatever findings he has.
Yeah.
So whatever verdict you come up with,
whatever the outcome of your investigation is, dude.
Investigation.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
My God.
Oh man. All right, guys, we gotta take a break, so we'll be right back after this commercial. Welcome to Tribeca Barber and Beauty School. Come on in and see our new state-of-the-art school. We offer hands-on training by licensed instructors. We can help you get your Master Barber's license in just 3.5 months. Learn how to cut and style for men and women. Tribeca Barber and Beauty School also offers courses for nail technician. Become a licensed nail technician in just 2.5 months. Come in and visit Tribeca Barber and Beauty School. Sign up today. We're at 9516 63rd Road. Call us at 718-489-9720. Hope to see you soon. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're here to talk about our second topic. I'm here once again with my co-hosts, Peter Plon and Snuggles. And we're going to discuss the next topic. Now, this one is something that happens in the barber world. So you guys are not barbers. You're just clients. I'm a master barber, instructor at Tribeca Barber School in Rego Park, Queens. And so this is a situation that happens with a lot of owners once we send the students to job placement. So not all owners do this, but some of them. The topic is barbershop owners who brainwash young barbers. So we send students out to these barbershops after they graduate because we have job placement at the barber school. And some owners welcome the young barbers and they teach them and they mentor them. And then some owners choose to use the students as sort of like errand boys, and they don't really have any plans on helping them improve or helping them grow. And in some cases, they try to brainwash the barber students. They try to suggest that they not use anything that the school has given them, or not to do anything that the barber school has taught them, and to only pay attention to what they teach them. And also they instruct the students to lie in some cases. So I'm gonna read to you guys a paragraph, a statement that one of my students said. He came up to me after we sent them to a barbershop. He came up to me the next day, and he said, "I quit the barbershop I was sent to because the owner told me to forget everything I learned in school."
Fuck truth. That's what they say.
"And to use the tools he tells me to use. He also told me not to say I finished barber school recently and to lie about my experience. If customers ask me how long I've been cutting hair, just say I've been cutting for a long time. Don't say I came from the barber school." So Pete, what do you think? What do you think about that owner? You think he was right for that?
Nah, not at all. Because if I go in there and I want a good haircut and he said, and the kid lies to me, he messes up my shit, I'm gonna get real pissed off.
Right.
So yeah, no, I don't think that's a good idea. That's not right. And it's stupid to even claim that because in this industry, everybody knows, all the barbers pretty much know each other a lot too. And they know who's who.
Oh yeah, a lot of people
They know each other. They know if you put in the work all the time.
Right.
If you have the years or anything like that. If you're a new face, people are gonna look at you and they're gonna call you on it. It's bullshit.
Right.
Because they're gonna be like, right, this guy just, it's like, this guy hasn't been around. We don't know who he is.
But a lot of these owners look at it like they're protecting their business. They're trying to help their business, and they want to mold these young barbers into what they want them to be. So that's really one of the main reasons they do that. And
but what if that barber has different plans? What if he what I'm saying? Like if he has other goals that is not the same, what if he's just there for now until he wants to open up his shop and do things his way?
Right.
And
not only that, we teach the students at the barber school how to do things by the book. We teach them the right way to do things. But a lot of the things that are done the right way are not done the way these old school barbers, it's not done the way they like it. So they try to completely brainwash the students into forgetting everything that they learned at the barber school.
Yeah, like I said, fuck you. Fuck truth, man.
But like I said, a lot of these barbers don't know me. They're saying pretty much,
But it's
forget the school, not me.
But it's a tough situation, though, for these new barbers coming out because the way you paint it, they have no experience. They're coming out into the real world. Now they go into a shop. They gotta build up their clientele.
Yeah.
But the truth is,
how good of a barber you are too.
As a customer, from a customer's point of view, when you go into a shop, you're looking for a new barber for whatever reason. You might need a new, a barber or a cut for that day, whatever. You want to make sure that you're comfortable with the person you're gonna sit down. Who's gonna take care of you. You don't. Nobody wants to get up and walk off with a bad haircut.
These are things that happen behind the scenes that you guys don't see as customers.
Right.
These are things that happen.
But like how do you address that? Like what do you do? Because honestly, I'm a firm believer in honesty is the best policy, and I feel like if you really tell somebody, let them know from the beginning. Yo, listen, I'm new. I just started, got out of school, or this and that. I just learned to cut hair. It's my choice whether I want to sit there or not. But if you tell me the truth, I'm more likely to sit with you than as opposed to go on the false pretense and sit down. You mess up my hair, now I'm getting up, I'm upset, and you don't know what's gonna happen after that. It could be a friendly a discussion with the owner. I'll take care of you next time. Come back, give you a free haircut. Person might be. Customer might not be one to be as calm and, be wild about it. Oh, you mess my stuff up. Want to get physical. It's not. It's so many different scenarios that can play out, but still, it's a problem. Now you got to come up with a solution.
Yeah, but there are ways for you to give a customer good service and also let the students utilize what they learned at the barber school.
Right.
The fact that this owner feels that his way is the only right way is not. It shouldn't be like that. They should let everybody get their own style. Every
true,
barber
it's true.
should have
You
their
want
own
him to be an
style.
individual.
You know,
to
their
have
own
his own thing,
reputation,
yeah.
their own thing.
Yeah. But you know, I think from seeing, from a person who's been around for a while and seen a lot of, barbershops come and go, and a lot of barbers come and go in barbershops that are still around. It seems like it's so competitive that,
Oh yeah.
a barber trying to get in, his back is against the wall when he comes in brand new. From what I see with you saying that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for them to get the cuts under their belt to develop a style, But you know what? I was thinking about this when you brought it up. I was kind of brainstorming real quick, and I think I'm gonna offer a solution. I don't know if it's viable, but as a customer, I would think that if you have these brand new guys and you're honest and you tell people, listen, we brought in a brand new, barber. He's gonna develop his style. We want him to be real good. We want you guys to be comfortable. But we're all about good cuts and honesty here. And this is what we do. We want to let you know he's new, whatever. But check it out. This is what we doing. Cuts with him. Let him give him a chance. Give him a discount on the cut.
Right.
It builds up clientele. People nowadays, everyone's looking for to save a few bucks. So maybe there's people out there that will be like, you know what, you got a couple of kids with you. The father goes in, he'll sit down. Oh, all right, cut my kids here. It's just something that I think could possibly be a helpful solution to an individual who's starting out, who needs to. I also understand that barbershops need that money. Some of them depend on the chair or the customer, but you got to start somewhere. You got to help the guy build a
So
clientele.
as a customer, Pete, would you have a problem if a student told you, or somebody who graduated the barber school, if they came up to you and said, listen, I just graduated the barber school, if you was to ask him how long you've been cutting hair, and he said, yeah, I just graduated the barber school last month.
Okay.
Would you have a problem with him cutting your hair?
Wow.
Be honest.
Me out of all you asking me this.
Be honest. Yeah, be honest. Well, I mean, come on, we're not being biased.
No, we're not.
I'm just bringing this to light. I'm just putting out there what some barbers do. Barber
Honestly,
owners.
dude, you know me. I'm you.
Barbershop owners. I'm just putting it to light what they do.
But you know how I am about the hair and shit like that. So it's like, for me, it's different. A person like me, it's. I guess.
So you're saying
listen. I'm not saying
he's
no.
pussyfooting around. Pete's gonna be like, hell no. You are not touching my fucking hair.
No. You know what? Most likely, I would say no.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would ask him if the kid seems sure of himself. Like he's like really good.
Confidence.
If you see the confidence,
Right.
if he tells me, yo, dude, I've been doing this, I got my shit, or I just got it for like a month. He says, but if he tells me, yo, bro, I'm nice, give me a shot.
Right.
I would say yes.
Okay, so
I say, yo, I'm nice, yo, dude, just give me a shot. I would do it. I would do it. Actually, I would. But he's true what he says. A lot of times I would say no, but if the kid feels like he's confident and he's like, yo,
I think
give me a shot. I bring something new to the table. I'm good. I'm nice. He says, because I've actually come across people like that have been like, yo, they tell me, yo, I'm good, or and I sit down and I walk away happy. Is that all right? The kid is nice. You know what I'm saying? That's happened once or twice to me. So I can't,
Listen,
be honest with you.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I've walked into shops before, and one of the things I do, I just always scope out the room and I always look at stuff and whatever. But I always look at their licenses and what they get.
Yeah.
Sometimes you walk into a shop and you see all the barbers and you look at all the plaques with their licenses. And it's all the same license. Now I know they don't go to the same school and get the same thing from the same place.
sometimes they do.
Really? You think
Sometimes
so?
they do. Actually, all licenses do look the same. They're all blue in New York, the state of New
Okay.
York. They're all blue and they have that little typewriting lettering on it. So they all do get the same license from the state. It is the same license.
Oh, it is the same.
What is different is the certification they get from the school. If they go to school,
Right.
it's a barber school, all the certifications from all the completion certificates
Okay.
are different from every school.
Oh, okay. That's what I see then. Because when I see them, I'm under the impression they're like some licenses or something, and sometimes I've seen different ones in different shops. So,
Right.
But that's good that you clarified. Maybe I was misguided, or
Right.
I was thinking something else.
So, would you be upset if you found out that a barber lied to you about his experience?
I would if I got a bad haircut.
Yes.
If you got a good haircut,
Yeah. If you got a bad haircut.
you're gonna. If you get a good haircut and you get up, you're gonna be under the impression that he told you the truth, because he didn't do anything wrong.
You'll never know.
You'll never know. You're gonna walk away and you're gonna be happy.
Right.
Which is not saying that I'm condoning that.
Mm-hmm.
The choice should always be given to the individual. If I'm paying for a service, then give me the respect to let me choose if I want to use your service or a certain individual service or not.
So if you were a business owner, and let's say your business is a
Right.
little slow, you just opened up, and you want to get a good reputation, would you be a little ashamed or embarrassed to say, listen, this barber just came out of barber school, but give him a chance?
If I'm a business owner, no. And like I said, personally myself, because I would want to have a good relationship, especially nowadays, and mom and pop shops are on the dying end. You want to have a relationship with your community, because wherever you open up your shop, that's your community.
Right.
The time that you're living in there, you're cutting hair, you barbers be in there 16 hours a day, sometimes cutting hair, all day long. You want to have a relationship with the community. And if I'm going to have that, I'm going to be honest to them all. I'll be like, yo, I got a new barber here. He's starting out. Give him a chance. He went to a reputable school. He's got the tools that he needs. He got his skills. I'll tell you what, you get a 20% discount, 25% discount off a cut, and I'll do that for all the customers until he starts building his own little clientele.
Right.
And then you know what? All right, the grand opening on this chair is over. Pay full price. You guys already have a relationship. He's becoming an established barber, and now he's got the skills.
Yeah.
Anybody else, you got to pay for service because he's a quality service giver. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would handle it. But I don't know everybody's situation, and of course, you have all sorts of business owners that some do things. They want to do things the right way, and some guys will cut corners because the only thing important is that dollar in their pocket. And you know what? I tend to try and stay away from people like that because, basically they're it's always good to look out or have a good business model, look after yourself. But at some point, you got to know when to do the right thing.
I agree. It's important to gain your customers' trust, your clients, the trust of your clients.
Right. Absolutely.
And you should be honest with them. If you have a barber in your shop and he's a young barber, fresh out of school, don't tell your young barber to lie. I think you should just be honest. Be honest with the customers.
And be honest with him too. Let him know.
They don't want to be lied to.
It's going to be a little bit rough because, you're new, but this is how we do things over here. So that when you do have your customers, they're yours. You earn those customers.
All right, guys, we got to go to break. But this is something that maybe we could bring up in the future again. But we're going to go on break, guys. Hey guys, this is Truth the Barber Artist, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube. And if you're enjoying this podcast so far, make sure to like and comment down below. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram at Truth the Barber Artist. Thank you guys for listening. Don't go anywhere. There's more to come. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Whole Truth Podcast. You're listening to Truth the Barber Artist, Peter Plon, and Snuggles. Next topic we're going to discuss is a very controversial topic. It's something that I hear a lot. I hear a lot from different people. They're always talking about this subject, and it's weed legalization in New York. So, I am not a smoker. I'm not a smoker, and I let that be known. But I do think that this is something that is very big in a lot of people's opinion. It's something that should be brought up and legalized in the state of New York. So, I have an article here. I'm going to read it to you guys. It says, once thought impossible in New York State, recreational marijuana could be a reality in the near future. Recreational marijuana is now legal for an estimated 53 million American adults, 9 states, plus Washington, D.C., have all fully legalized pot. Voters in Michigan and North Dakota may join that growing list with statewide measures on their ballots during the upcoming election. So, the question is, will New York be next? Pete, will New York be next?
Maybe. Not. I don't think now though. I think they still have a lot to do before that happens. To tell you the truth.
They have a long way to go.
I think I still think they still have a lot to do. It's different here. The laws are different.
Mm-hmm.
The way they're handling it is different too. I don't know. We definitely. It's not next. I don't think it's next though.
You don't think New York's next?
No. Not. I think some maybe in other states would probably go before us.
Well,
You gotta remember we're a bigger state too. We're a bigger city.
right.
So it's different for them. How many of those how many dispensaries you're gonna have to open here in New York City?
Mm-hmm.
How many? In the boroughs in Manhattan, it'll be chaos.
There has been a lot of talk. I mean, Cuomo, you all know who Cuomo is.
I don't know who that guy is. I don't know who he is.
He is a politician in New York, and governor.
He's the governor. He's the governor
yes.
of New York.
Governor Cuomo. He talked about it back in July about possibly legalizing and getting it done.
I think marijuana legalization for recreational use in New York is ways off. It's still so far away. And the reason I say that is because you just look at all the models. Recently, recreational marijuana use went live in Massachusetts.
Right.
And they only have 2 dispensaries open. New Jersey, from what I'm reading, is trying to. They got their foot in the door. They're supposed to have some shops opening up.
Sorry. That could be the next state. New Jersey.
New Jersey. I have been hearing about New Jersey.
That could be the next state.
But they have issues too because they can't get this stuff. They can't get it together. See, from the stuff I've been reading in the media, Massachusetts didn't do it right. Apparently, they were only able to open 2 dispensaries.
Right.
At the time, there's other dispensaries ready to go, but only 2 of them were issued licenses, which, from what I've been reading, they've turned those 2 towns where those dispensaries are at into a nightmare because now they're bringing in, I don't know if it's local or state police to help with traffic. The residents of those towns are in chaos because now they can't live their daily life because you got all these people from out of state lining up for miles. I heard trying to get in there to go and buy their recreational marijuana, weed, and it's I think the big issue is like when you don't do it right, you just cause more of a problem and chaos because the demand is there. People want it, so you can't just open a little outlet and the main thing is that if they can't get it right in these small towns, can you imagine how difficult it's going to be for them to get this done in New York? The other thing is too that I feel like New Yorkers, we don't have respect for anything. We in the summer.
Big statement.
But the reason I say this is because, and I'm talking about probably maybe a certain age range, the youth that are living a little more free and they tend to want to do things when they want to do it, how they want to do it. But when you want to grab something like legalization and put that into place, everybody has to play by the rules because you have to show that you're taking something that's been criminalized and used by criminals and is responsible for all these so-called criminal activities, whatever, however bad light they want to put on it. If you're trying to do the right thing and do it in a proper way, to end with this prohibition, you have to be on board. You have to follow rules and you have to do certain things, the way that it needs to be. And the only reason I bring this up is because I remember in the summertime, they came out and in New York they decided to decriminalize use of marijuana. So I guess if you were walking down the street and you were caught smoking a joint or whatever, instead of locking you up, they give you a slap on the wrist or whatever it is. I don't know what the process is. Did they change that rule in
New York?
Yeah, they so now, right? But this is what I'm getting at. Let me finish. I'm sorry. Let me just get to this. This is what I wanted to get to.
Right.
I clearly remember I was at work and I'm looking at the news and I see this happen. That very night when I came home, I swear to you, it was like everyone pulled out a joint and lit up because I smelled it everywhere going home. Right. And so that just goes to show you, people are pre-celebrating and celebrating for what? Like you don't have anything. Even medicinal use in New York, from what I've read and what I know, they're not even allowed to light up and smoke. You have to ingest it. There's a certain way. Like it's not even for medicinal use in New York. And I don't know if other states have that going on.
Yep.
But they can't, you can't actually burn flower, like the bud or whatever it is that they, the terminology that they use. The actual weed, they can't smoke it. So they have to either use tablets or sublinguals or whatever, medicinal forms they have. Right. Medicinal forms they have. So, and New Jersey's going through a very big issue because part of New Jersey's problem right now with legalizing it, believe it or not, is New York. It's a big situation for them because on top of the different things they have to hash, no pun intended, you got taxation. Right. You got the taxation problem, which, they don't know what to make it, if it's low, if it's going to be high or whatever. And they brought up a real big good point because, you have the biggest city, one of the biggest cities in the world right next to you. You think New Yorkers aren't going to be going over there and getting weed?
Definitely.
And for all you people that don't know, just because you go, it's legal.
They might raise tolls up. They might raise the tolls because
and just remember this: because
you get the money from the weed, they probably won't need to do that.
Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, just because you go to New Jersey and buy weed and come back, you're crossing straight lines. You're crossing state lines with a controlled substance in New York. So either way, even though it's decriminalized or whatever, it at some point it poses some sort of a problem for them. For Port Authority or whatever, so it has to be. It's a lot of stuff that has to be,
a lot of things have to fall in place.
Right, a lot of stuff.
Pete, what do you think? You wanted to say something?
No, I don't know.
Oh, he pretty much said everything we were gonna say.
So what do you think? You think New York? I think the best question to pose is, do you feel, and I think you could tell from the way I spoke my answer, but do you feel that New Yorkers are responsible enough to be able to participate in the legalization of marijuana in New York?
I think we should have been the first state, my opinion. I think New York should have been the first state.
You should have been getting all the money.
Only because I see so many people out there that are smokers. I know, like I said, I don't smoke, but I know a lot of people who do. And this is something that is completely supported by a lot of New Yorkers.
Yeah, look, I have a lot of friends that smoke too. I don't smoke, but I have a lot of friends who do it, and I understand they always,
I think it should be monitored. I think it should be monitored, and it should be properly taxed.
I believe so too, because see, if you that's the only winning point from this, because if all this taxation,
tax on it.
They should do like what they do which I think most of the other places do it, but I don't know what the model would be for New York, but I mean, with so many inner city kids and stuff falling behind with school and stuff, this is the perfect thing that we need. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as to generate revenue, you tax them, do it like lottery. You tax them, hey, put that towards education. Educate. If you feel like, there's a lot of people feel this is a negative and this is bad, you always got to look for something good in the bad. So I would say, if you're gonna do it and you're gonna tax, then have all that tax go towards education, and it's gonna be a lot of revenue being made. This is something undeniable. But I don't think anyone can say that this is not gonna happen. That's gonna make a lot of money for New York.
Oh yeah. Now this is another thing that I noticed aside from the taxing, the farmers that are involved with all of this weed legalization, they don't make as much money as people think. Only because the government takes a huge amount of money from them for whatever type of legalization fees they have to pay,
Well, I have to stop you there because you have to understand that Like as far as
This is what I hear. I
yeah,
hear
but
that
you gotta understand
the
that
farmers really
we can't say
a lot of money taken from them.
Okay, but we can't say by the government because just so everyone knows, the reason why we're going through all of this is because weed is not legal in this country. The federal government does not recognize marijuana as a legal substance for us to be.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it is still illegal. So as far as farmers getting their money, they're getting taken because they're getting raided by the feds. As far as that goes, yeah, they're taking their money, but they're not kicking up any money to the government of their own free accord because it's illegal. So the government will not take their money, and that's why all these people are having a situation because the marijuana industry, if you guys don't know, is one of the biggest industries right now that is solely cash.
Yeah.
It's about 85% in cash.
But I've seen small farmers in California,
small
farmers in California that are struggling. The bigger farmers with the big farms.
Well, those are big corporations that are coming in on that.
The small farmers are struggling.
Well, yeah.
They say it's not worth it right now. For
well, that's like what they did in Canada recently.
Well,
they opened up big companies and stuff like that in Canada. They opened up like these big warehouses, giant warehouses, and they're growing it indoors. They're doing all that. It's like big companies are opening up there. They got like the biggest indoor greenhouse or something like that in the world.
Say what?
I don't know, man.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
They're only for marijuana to grow. It's the biggest one on the earth. It's an indoor. They got an indoor growing facility.
Well, that's what all the major.
Canada was the last one to legalize, weren't they?
Country-wise,
yeah.
No, Massachusetts was the last in this country to be legalized. But actually, no, I might be wrong. They were already legal. They just opened their shop. I think Jersey was the last one to legalize because Jersey legalized it. They just don't have anything. It doesn't have anything in play. We gotta check up our facts because. Like I said, we're just opinionating. We're sharing our
they're like the first country, though. Canada.
I'm not.
I know
100%
Canada like the
facts,
first country where the whole country is.
I think they're just, just procrastinating. They're just trying to slow down the inevitable. It's gonna happen.
Listen, all I suggest is to all my fellow New York City residents, New York State residents. If you guys want to. Go about this the right way and you want to really, be a part of this process and towards making it legal, find ways to be involved in the process of the legalization, because, hey, this is for you guys. I mean, you guys like to smoke. You want to smoke all the time or whatever. You got to get involved. You got to get involved in the process and you have to be responsible because now,
this is and vote for the right thing.
Yeah, because, and the whole thing with the legalization, it's like driving, it's not a right. It's not your right to drive. Right. It's a courtesy. It's like you earned that. So it's the same thing with weed. You got to be responsible with the use of it and how you do. Don't be out there smoking. Oh, the cops can't do nothing to me. Be on the corner smoking in front because this is what gives it bad names, and this is why people have something to combat and try to fight with because this is what is going to happen when that's what they're going to say. Is this what's going to happen when it's legal? Now everybody just doesn't care, and you're gonna we have to have a certain social standard, and you got to be responsible because you got to remember that your rights still infringe upon others in certain ways, and you don't want to do that. Nobody wants to be bothered.
Right.
You're there with your kids and stuff.
Right.
People smoke. So
yeah.
Be responsible, people. Get down with your local government and. Find out what you got to do to be part of the process if that's what you want to do, and that's how you get things accomplished.
Yep.
That's all I got to say for this piece.
Well, we got to go on break, guys. But before we go on break, I just want to say that if you guys are really serious about weed being legalized in New York, when a politician does present the
referendum,
the time for you to vote, and just go and vote and just put your ballots in. Because there are going to be opportunities for it to happen. If you really want it to happen, it's going to have to be a team effort by the whole city.
State. It's the whole state.
That's right.
Good jobs too, maybe.
All right, guys. So we're going to go on break. We'll be right back to talk about Tekashi 6ix9ine. So you don't want to miss that. It's coming up next. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. This is Truth the Barber Artist. And don't forget to check out my Amazon affiliate link in my description. check out my store. I got some cool stuff, barber supplies, and other stuff. Check it out, and thank you for listening. Okay, we're back, everyone, and welcome to the first podcast of The Whole Truth.
The entire truth?
Hosted by yours truly, Truth the Barber Artist, and I'm here again with my co-hosts, Peter Plon and Snuggles.
What's up?
Fellow sketch comedians. Right, and so we're going to talk about our final topic that everybody's probably curious to hear about, which is Tekashi 6ix9ine.
It's fucking Treyway.
I see you guys waving your head. No. A lot of funny looks. Okay, so I'm going to read this article to you guys. This is concerning Tekashi and the gift that he gave his girlfriend. Tekashi 6ix9ine isn't letting the fact that he's stuck in the slammer on federal charges put his relationship on ice. Instead, the rainbow-maned rapper managed to send his girlfriend a $35,000 Rolex, date just, for her birthday. I don't know where the date just came. I think that's a typo. But
that's a type of that's
yeah,
a type of Rolex.
Oh, date just.
Yeah,
is it?
the Rolex,
okay.
yeah.
All right. I had a Rolex, but it was a really old one that my grandfather gave
Yeah,
me.
like the Perpetua Oyster. They have all those other ones.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah. All right. So the lucky lady named Jade celebrated her 22nd birthday at a New York City club Tuesday night and showed off the luxury timepiece, blinged out with 18K of white and rose gold and 24 carats worth of VS diamonds, according to TMZ.
Doesn't he need that shit for the lawyer or something, man?
What?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not done. Hold on. Best birthday gift ever, she tweeted, along with a picture showing off the gift. Thank you, baby, she said. Thank you, baby. You're the best, even when you're not around.
Of course, that's the freaking best present she ever got.
Wow.
She got her. How much was the watch worth? Did they say?
So this article was from the Post. Once again, the watch was worth $35,000.
It's fucking Treyway.
That's how much she paid.
She didn't even have to do anything for it. I mean, I don't know if he.
Well, she
got
probably
something
did have
before,
to do something for it.
But the fact is that she got the present and she ain't even after that she ain't have to put out no more. He's locked up. He might never come back home.
Now let me clarify
Maybe
something.
that's what she'll
Let me clarify something. He planned on getting this watch before he got locked up.
Oh, so he already told
Yeah, he
somebody,
already had
one
it
of
all.
his financiers. Oh yeah, make sure this goes out this
Right,
day. Whatever.
right.
So that's pre.
He
that
got
was
locked
already
up for her
prepaid
birthday.
for. Yeah.
Before her birthday, he wasn't able to give it to her.
That's prepaid.
It's prepaid, but still. I mean, maybe she should have said, "Oh, you know what? Give it back."
Wait, how
He's
old
probably gonna need the money.
How old is she? I'm pretty sure she's got to be within his age range. Younger.
22nd birthday. 22nd birthday.
She's not giving that back. She's
jodió.
not giving it. Se jodió.
But you know, if that's her man and she loves him
She just met
and
him.
she's concerned about him, then maybe it would have been the right time for her to accept that gift.
That's not his baby mother. That's a new girlfriend he got.
Right.
He just broke up with his baby.
Ride or die, man.
But that's
Ain't
not
supposed
his,
to be ride or die. Like
He just met her.
That's his girl, though, ain't it?
No, she's probably like she's probably a groupie that he met. This kid is always on Instagram hanging out with different girls. His main female is his baby mother.
But he's got a baby mom.
And apparently, from what I think I saw recently, they broke up and she's not with him because he was with some other girls or whatever. This is like maybe 3 weeks ago before he got locked up, somewhere around there. So that girl's not. She don't mean anything to him. She's just like probably just like a.
In the right place at the right time.
Yeah, right place, right time. He met her in a groupie.
So you guys are in complete agreement that it was okay for her to accept the gift?
Oh,
And
well,
for him to give it to her.
I think it was stupid on his behalf to give a $35,000 watch. Period. Listen,
But he's got it like that.
I don't care.
It's Tekashi 6ix9ine.
If I win the lotto tomorrow, I'm not giving freaking people $35,000 because you're cool.
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
You
I
give
guess when you don't have
$35,000
anything,
watches to be everybody you know.
I guess when you don't have anything and then you have something, yeah, you maybe want to share and spoil people, but at least I'm gonna try and spoil somebody who's near and dear to me.
You think maybe he
You
does
know?
this for publicity, Pete? You think maybe he gave her that watch for publicity, or he had his people give her the watch and then let her publicize it to just let everybody know, listen, this is what Tekashi got me? Just for publicity.
Yeah, probably.
Could be.
Because
you know what, but what importance does that have?
that gets her hits on her social media.
What importance does it really have? Like
to who? To her, it does.
To her, of course.
It's building up her social media. So if she wants to be some sort of a social
be
media,
like,
she could become a celebrity because of this.
because of that. Exactly.
She could be the next Kim Kardashian. You never know. Maybe they break up.
I wouldn't go that far.
If they break up,
I gotta see this chick first.
I mean, I heard she's cute.
It's fucking Treyway.
Well, we gotta see first to see if she has potential. Kim Kardashian potential.
No, but you know how it is. Like women, most of these young women who date these celebs and then they break up, they go on and they make a name for themselves.
Listen, I think most women under the age of 25 are still, figuring out their life and they enjoying themselves, man. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. If a guy comes and gives them a $35,000 watch, I'm not gonna say she's wrong for accepting it. Mm-hmm. Come on, anybody who gives you a $35,000 watch willingly is like, that's on them. I'm not saying to take advantage of the person. If that's in your heart and that's the type of person you are, whatever. The person giving that's it. They gave it. So if you accept it, if you don't,
Now a lot of people are blaming Tekashi. They're getting on him. They hating. A lot of people are hating on him because they're saying, "Oh, well, you know what? He shouldn't have bought that watch. Maybe he should be more concerned about his legal fees, and maybe putting away some money just in case he goes away for a long time."
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Pete, what do you think?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
lawyer fees and everything like that's just gonna add up, man. At the end of all this shit, dude, you're gonna need all that money.
It's a smart thing to do, but
it's a smart thing to do.
He already gave it away,
cash, man. You know what I'm saying?
Back. It's done. Sorry, Tekashi. You're out 35 G's, man.
35 G's is a wrap, dude. That shit's out the window.
I mean, even though he purchased it supposedly before he got locked up, and it is a birthday gift.
Yeah, but these problems, like that shit's been brewing for a while, man. He should have saw this coming too. They're on him and doing all this shit and all this investigation and shit like that. Come on, man.
Right.
Should have just chilled. That's how I'm looking at it.
He should have just chilled.
Yeah.
So he should have downgraded the birthday gift?
Yeah.
I think he would have gotten a pass. He's locked up. I don't think anybody was going to be like, oh, he didn't get me anything for my birthday. Like, he's facing life. Like, you tell me that. See if you don't get slapped, and I'll catch another charge. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, come on. This is it's just, clout chasing. She's trying to get a little fame or whatever, or somebody's trying to get her some fame. Whatever it is, this is not news that should be reported.
So you guys think that he's going to get off, or you think he's going away for a long time?
Honestly, man, I wish the kid the best. I think that he was a young kid who came from a total different genre.
So you're saying no? I think he's screwed. He's not going to...
No, I think
he's got a chance to get off?
I think he's got a good chance of getting off, man. I think he's got a good chance of getting off because I think
I've heard the details. It doesn't sound like they got
I don't want to say
strong case.
I don't want to say he was taken advantage of because he's an adult and every adult should know what you're getting into. But I think he was coerced into going. He was shown. He was painted a pretty picture, and I think he felt like this is a good management team for me, and he went with them. And then, he didn't know what he was getting himself into. Mm-hmm. Those people, if you deal with alleged gang members and stuff like that, that lifestyle is totally different. Their daily activities are criminal activities. So you being involved with them, something's gonna rub off. You can't expect to always stay hands clean with stuff like that. So, he should have known better than to get in bed with the devil. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what he did. And these are the consequences.
Yeah, he was doing stuff in Europe though.
He was blown up before he came. A lot of people I don't know if they.
What do you mean by that, Pete? What do you mean he was doing stuff in Europe?
That's the way it sounds. He was already doing things. He had his own following and everything. Like he was doing concerts and over in Poland and places like that. He was already doing stuff already.
So he was already a big star before he became a rapper.
He was, yeah. Well, now he's big. Now he's like a huge. Now he's big. But like back then, yeah,
What was he doing in Europe? Same thing.
Yeah, it was like
Well, his
like hip hop
before
rock,
he
right?
before
Something
he
like that?
before
Like
yeah he had,
metal rap.
I was doing metal rap.
I would classify it as like metal rap. I seen a lot of his videos and stuff.
Some of his
before
stuff
he
sounds
came
kind of
out.
metally.
Yeah,
Mentally anyway.
Yeah,
so.
But if you see some of his original stuff, most of those videos, I don't even know if they're still up on YouTube. I heard a lot of stuff got taken down, but his original stuff, if you look at the way he was, his outfits and his gear, he had like this Mad Max kind of look to it.
It's
and,
fucking Treyway.
His music was, if I had to classify it, I would say it was something sort of like metal rap. It really wasn't hip hop, you know. So, but he had a strong following overseas, Czechoslovakia, Russia. From what I have it understood, you know, he already had some money in his pockets and he had a bit of fame over there. But he wasn't known at all in the States, other than whoever liked.
Until he came on World Star. And that's when everybody started really knowing who he was out here.
Until he did the one song that put him on the map, which in New York City, which is Gummo. But by then, I don't know how that came about, who he met. But by then, he already had his new management team, which was, you know, reported. I guess it was. Well, actually, he was with Scum Gang first, and then at some point that didn't work out, and then he moved on to Treyway and you know, to build his career. But
let me ask Pete a question. Pete, you're a hip hop guru. I got a lot of respect for your.
I'm not a hip hop guru. I just know.
He's being modest.
He's a hip hop encyclopedia.
He is being modest.
He's got a lot of.
Pete is a hip hop dictionary. This guy knows his shit.
Well, he knows his valid stuff.
He knows it. He knows his stuff.
He doesn't like crap rap. Let's say.
All right.
I'm all about
now let me ask you
lyrics,
this question.
90s music.
Pete, let me ask you this question.
90s.
I want you to be honest, 100% honest.
All right, go ahead.
And don't be biased. Just let us know what you think. Okay? Based on what you're seeing now with Tekashi, would you say that he is officially the king of New York? True or false? Is Tekashi the king of New York? I mean, that's what he's saying. That's what a lot of people are saying. It's out there.
You know what it is? When he was doing good, and the minute he said that, everybody ran with it. So in everybody's mind, that's already, you know, already like there. Like that's already embedded in everybody's mind.
Some people are
imprinted,
saying,
by him saying that, he imprinted that into all his fans. Now everybody thinks he's the king of New York.
Right.
Honestly, no, I'm not gonna say that. I wouldn't say he's the king of New York. Honestly.
No.
No, man.
Would you say it's Cardi B?
No, dude, I'm into lyrics and bars, man. Like hearts, you know, like dude, you know that's.
Oh, you going completely off the map. Okay.
You know I'm into lyrics and like bars.
Okay. You
know that's why I said you.
So who's somebody
you
you
heard me
would
say
give?
90s and early hip hop, like people that.
Who's somebody you would give the nod to as the king of New York, Pete?
You know what? Shit. Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Who's the king of New York?
Yeah, right now. December 1st, 2018, right now.
King of New York.
King of New York. Jay-Z, maybe? Nas?
King of New York. See, I got a few names. I can't just. I like Jay. I like Nas.
No, there can only be one. Like Highlander.
Devin, you don't know nothing about Highlander, bro. What you talking about?
Listen,
Hey, that was my movie.
I would go as far to say that, you know, currently that's a very broad term.
Yes.
King of New York.
King
It's a
of New
vague term. Depending on what you want to specifically label or what you're talking about, it can mean anything. But if you want to talk on a vague, all including.
Right.
Honestly, I like
You know
who I like?
a lot of these guys that you mentioned, like Jay-Z, Nas,
I've been listening to
they're not in the loop anymore.
Axel Leon.
They're not in the.
I've been listening to that.
Okay.
That's the shit right
He's
there.
the king of New York right now?
I wouldn't say he's king of New York, but he's that nigga's nice.
You just want to mention him.
Nah, he's nice, dude.
All right, cool.
Axel Leon is nice.
Yeah,
It's ill, man.
All right.
It's ill. That the Rich Boy album is ill, man. It's ill. I've been rocking that shit. I like that a lot.
Well, listen, I'm gonna stick with who I know, and I think the king of New York is Jay-Z. I think until he's dethroned, I think Jay-Z is still the king of New York. Only because
he's one of undoubtedly the best lyricists, of our time.
I
And
think
he's
legendary.
alive.
He's legendary.
And he's alive and stuff. But like I said, Jay-Z's been he's been out of the
Only-
limelight for a little while.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't.
But
I
his
wouldn't-
accomplishments. His
Well,
accomplishments.
yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of guys that share that throne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at Drake. Look at Drake.
You gotta remember,
at
there's a
Drake.
lot of guys that
Look
put
at
in
Dr.
work.
Dre.
There's a lot of guys
Yeah.
who are worthy of that
But I
title.
think there's different versions of the King of New York.
Right.
I think there's different
Absolutely.
versions. I
I
think there's
agree with
somebody
you.
who's popping right
Yeah.
now.
Lyrically, there's always a king and this.
And who's more legendary in all of New York? Who's living here right now? Who's more legendary?
I'm gonna tell you right now, as far as me, by default, because nobody can really claim that throne right now and say, all right, all around, I am the king of New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tekashi almost had everything except for the lyrics, because he's not a lyricist. So by that, he falls out of he's not the king of New York. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta, I'm gonna keep it by default until somebody comes and really takes that throne.
Hey,
By default, it goes to Biggie.
did you guys?
Biggie's always gonna be the king of New York.
I know you guys heard the interview. I know you guys.
Right? Biggie's
Hey,
always gonna be the king of New York.
okay, all right, that's a good one.
Good
I know you.
one.
I know you. I know you guys.
Good.
I know,
You
yeah,
hear him?
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
That's a
good.
one.
That's beyond good, buddy.
That's a good one. Okay. No, Biggie's the man. Biggie was definitely the man. I agree with you on that. Did you? I know you guys heard the interview with Ebro. You guys saw Ebro speak about Tekashi. Do you feel that he was correct? I mean, he mentioned things saying that he knew that was going to happen to Tekashi. He knew what was going to happen. They tried to warn him. Fat Joe also tried to warn him. Do you guys feel that what happened was because Tekashi is hard-headed, or he just didn't see it coming? He was blindsided.
I think what happened was Tekashi wasn't prepared for all the fame that he got, and it's just his way of dealing it. Every artist, manages their career.
You don't think he was a little sloppy?
Different way.
He was a
He
little
was
sloppy?
definitely
Yeah.
sloppy, but you know what? It was something that was working for him. So, like a lot of people like using the terminology. If it's not broken, don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what was going on with his situation. It wasn't broken. Every time he kept doing, he kept, bringing up the antics. He was getting more fame, more followers, and more clout, and more. It never stopped working for him. So why he didn't have a reason to change? When it was all helping him lift his career up. You know what I'm saying? His career was he was blowing up, and it was all because of all his antics. Now, yeah, he was sloppy. It had a lot of consequences what he did. But as far as what you say, that everybody saw it and Ebro saw it, Fat Joe saw it, and they told him.
They all warned him.
They all warned
They
him.
all warned him, yeah.
But I mean, everybody knew this was coming, because you're not talking about, a guy who's hanging out with a group of friends. He was openly waving a flag. He's a gang member, running with gang members. If you're really from the street and you know what goes on in the street, and you know what gangs are about and what they do, they're constantly working. They're going after that bag. They're making that money, that paper. It's not legal tender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They're
but-
doing what they do. So of course he's gonna get jammed up with them.
Everybody
saw it coming.
This question is for Pete. Pete, what's the difference between Tekashi just throwing the whole gang member thing out there with his whole character? What's the difference between that and gangster rap from back in the days, when the old school rappers used to do the same thing? They used to glamorize the gangster life, the thug life. What's the difference between back then and now? Because a lot of people are criticizing Tekashi about, mentioning the gang life and all of this stuff. But
To me,
what's the difference between back then and
Those
now?
guys, when they did, they wrote their lyrics on a paper. They had bars. It rhymed well. It sounded better. It's understandable.
So you're saying
You know what I'm
because they
saying?
have more skill, they're allowed to do that?
I would say, to tell you the truth, I think not because they had more skill. It's like it was the first time anybody heard gangster rap.
My point is,
my thing is like,
yeah.
I think honestly, they did it first. That's how I'm looking at
my
it.
point
They
is
did
a
it
lot of
first
people-
and they did it differently,
Right.
but you know what? They're the originators of it. So
A lot of people are criticizing Tekashi for using a lot of the things that have to do with the gang member life, the gang life, thug life. He wasn't allowed to say Treyway. It was some legal thing,
That was more legal,
right?
yeah, that was more legal, right?
But what's the difference? I don't.
Well, see, I feel like personally the difference is that, like you want to reference the back in the days, the gangsters,
Yeah.
the gangster music, gangster life. Okay,
Mhm.
they.
Look at
they
NWA.
were- listen,
NWA.
Okay, I'm gonna explain to you. I think this is the major difference between what was going on back then and what's going on now.
Mhm.
And the thing is that the whole gangster life and whoever the artists were at the time and were participating were part of the gang life culture,
Right.
And they were living up to it and they were representing their hoods
Yeah.
and they were representing the gang life culture, and the gang culture was behind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had their backs because they were repping the streets
You
and
know-
they were repping what they were about. The thing with Tekashi is that he's not respecting, and they had respect for the way things were done with the gang culture.
Mhm.
From what I'm seeing and from what the only things that I've been able to, that I know is Tekashi was never a real blood.
Mm.
You know? He was
wasn't.
he was brought in and they were like an honorary member. Like, oh, this is the bagman, man. He got money. Yo, you with us. You down with us. You running with us.
Ooh.
And he felt like, oh, that gave me the open door. I'm blood. But he really never went through it. He probably.
Where did you read this?
Well, if you read in all the
who was your
state-
source for this?
Well, I'm coming.
True.
The
Another
source
thing-
that I'm using is I'm reading. There's a couple of.
No, I'm sure the listeners want to know where did you hear
well,
this?
the indictments that were put out there, if you're listening, and the new guys that are brought into the charges and are getting into it, there was a wiretap where one of the members himself
Oh, he said that.
he referred to Tekashi. Yeah, he said he was never thugged in, which
Right.
meant he never went in the same way that everybody else does. It was like he basically got an honorary patch. Now, if you know anything about the streets,
So
you
like
know
a Boy Scout. So he
right.
was-
Sometimes that's the problem why a lot of West Coast gang members don't respect East Coast gang members. Because a lot of these young East Coast gang members, from what I have it understood, are doing things their own way. They're not doing things in a traditional way. Whatever it is that they do, sometimes I think I've heard that these guys, you know, are giving honorary passes. Oh, he's down with her. Nah, he good, he down.
Right.
Because somebody, like, he never proved himself. He's just on the word of some other member or something. And that's something to the effect of what they did to Tekashi.
Okay.
But, you know, I see that, you know, their angle on that was because he was bringing the money to the table. So why not have somebody involved like that when you're going to eat with them and you're going to eat off of them?
Right.
You know, he was a cash cow.
True.
basically.
Another thing, like the guys back in the days, they weren't doing all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
You look at them,
Well-
like if you look at their videos, these motherfuckers were all serious, and they were like when they were rhyming and stuff like that. It was a whole different.
Well,
ballgame.
that's the other thing.
You know, you could see the difference.
no
like,
rainbow
these-
hair.
No,
Yeah.
no, those dudes. You see them niggas. Them niggas ain't playing, bro. Like,
Right,
those
yeah,
dudes,
it's serious,
yo,
right?
those dudes in California ain't playing, man.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on,
no,
bro,
that's-
man.
so
They
that's
ain't-
why-
that's like. It's like all this clown shit. The niggas ain't with that, man. Come on, bro, man. You gotta respect that shit.
So you know,
Ew, dude.
I feel like when Tekashi tried to do
That's the difference
His
to me.
version-
To me, that's the difference. Like I see
Yeah.
that they respected what they were doing, and then
Right.
you could tell that they were serious about it, and they had love for it, and you could see that by them writing shit like that on their paper and the way they wrote their shit, you could see that the love is there for the music. It's done
like
well.
like I think
You
like
know
when
what I'm saying?
Tekashi
That's what I see.
when Tekashi first started doing his videos in New York City, he had all these, you know, all the Bloods
tell
and
it
all the
took time
Crips,
to
and you
make
see
it,
them
you know what I'm
all in
saying?
the video. Yo, that's a big mob, man. He has some gangs in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You know?
Serious
But you
videos.
tell me, I don't think they were supporting him. Half of these guys probably didn't even know who the hell he was. They just knew this kid is coming to the block and he's
popping.
shooting a video.
It's popping,
Yo,
yeah.
it's popping. It's lit. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be doing this and that. And everybody and their cousins and their brothers and their sisters and everybody they knew on the block came out,
Yeah.
threw on their bandanas, and was.
I mean, he was on World Star a few times before that, so I'm pretty sure
know?
a lot of them, although the majority of them knew who he was.
Yeah, but I don't think they supported him. Like, you know, like nobody, I don't think anyone was behind him, like saying, oh, this, you know, he's Tekashi from the hood. Yeah, you know, he came up. He's repping for us. They were like, oh, There's a chance to be in a video. Let's be in it.
Oh.
You know, that's how I feel the
Right.
whole situation was towards him. We'll never know. You know, I'm not caught up in that game. Like, I don't live in there. I'm not. This is just stuff you hear in the streets and stories, and you kind of. Let me tell you something, people. Whenever you read any stories, you know, half of it is true and half of it is not. You gotta take it upon yourself to read between the lines and see what's credible and what's not. And, you know, just use a little common sense, because sometimes people out there talking stuff and to make stories, and they're not giving you the full story. You know, there's so much more to it. Sometimes, you know, your own experience. Use your own experience. Sometimes your own experiences be like, that shit can't be. Man, you just can't relate to certain things, and you know they're probably not true. So, you know, judge me. You know, be your own judges, and you know, use a little thought process when you make these opinions, because a lot of this stuff is.
All right,
nonsense.
well, that's about it, guys. We got to wrap it up. It's been awesome. First podcast.
First one in the
one
bag.
in the
In the
books.
bag.
So we're gonna definitely do some more research on that, and hopefully we'll be able to get an update on his status. You know, like I hope everything turns out okay for Tekashi 6ix9ine. He's young. He's got a lot of potential, and I really would prefer to see him do well, other than to be another tragic story. All right, so stepping away from the subject, I want to take my time out to speak about this. I would like you guys, if you can, to help. There is a barber by the name of Hair God Zito, and I never met the barber, but I've seen him on social media. I've seen his work. I've seen some of his videos, and he's an awesome barber, educator, and he got into a motorcycle accident, and there is a GoFundMe for him. You can go to GoFundMe and search Hair God Zito, and whatever donations you guys can give to him would be appreciated. He doesn't have health insurance. He is a barber, educator, and unfortunately he got into a motorcycle accident, almost lost his life, has multiple injuries, and he needs help desperately. So if you guys can donate, just go to GoFundMe and search Hair God Zito. It would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to follow myself, Truth the Barber Artist, also Peter Plon, that's PeterPlon at Instagram. Also Snuggles, his Instagram is @filterednoise, FILTERDNOIZ. Until next time, everybody, thank you for listening. Have a great week.